Welcome to Diverse Orange, our conversation about diversity here in Central Florida. And my guest today is Jennifer Bellorin. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, Jennifer Bellorin.
Jennifer, thanks for joining us today. So I know you were born in the United States, but you grew up in Venezuela, correct?
I did.
So how have you brought that Venezuelan heritage with you here to Central Florida?
Well, Venezuela has played a huge part of the way we eat, the way we spend our times with our friends. The culture of Venezuela is so beautiful, and it really goes right along with the culture here. Um, yeah, there's no day and time that I don't use one of my um, upbringings here, whether it's the food in the morning or in the afternoon or
What is a morning food then?
arepitas. You gotta stick with the arepas from Venezuela in the morning.
I see. Okay. Well, speaking of food, you run a school about cooking for kids that focuses on foods from around the world. Tell us how that started.
Well, that it's a beautiful project. It started because I was the teacher for Orange County program called the Dual Language Enrichment, which focus on learning all the cultures for the 21 speaking countries. So I was very heavily involved in all the cultures from around all the 21 countries, while my daughter was focused on doing culinary and hospitality and doing a childcare license because we've always been involved around teaching children and traveling. So there was a point that we are like, how can we combine all of our skills and everything we work for every day and just make something out of that? And that's how Little Chef was born. So we travel not only to the 21 countries, but all the other 200, plus cooking, plus children, plus enrichment and bilingual and multicultural. It's just a really beautiful project.
So people will come to the Little Chef Academy and be there for an hour or how long? And what's
Classes are usually an hour and a half to two. They're
okay?
longer than a usual after school class because we do need to cover a lot of material. Because we're in the kitchen environment, they need to go through sanitation, they need to stay safe, they need to be safe not only with cleanliness but also with the tools and the knives. So they have to learn basics, and they also have to learn the culture part or the component of the other country, the other ingredients, and then after that they also have to cook. So the 45-minute usual after school time does not allow us to do everything we want to do. It's a very complex program. It is really to enrich the lives of other and include all the different cultures we have in Orlando and United States, and also teach them how to be independent in the kitchen, eat, try new things, be explorative, and learn a very crucial skill.
Kids aren't necessarily really adventurous in their eating usually. So how does that work?
Well, they are not. So, or they're not until they reach Little Chefs. So part of one of the biggest things we're doing is doing research of why is it that the children reject vegetables, reject mushrooms, reject colors in the foods, and we have to learn that one of the biggest reasons they will reject it, it's because they don't know where it came from, they don't know how it's made, and they don't know if it's safe for their body to eat. So we started our program as young as 1 year old. So our chefs that are 2 and 3 now that have been cooking with us for the past 2 or 3 years eat everything, accept everything because they hands-on created and hands-on touch and harvested and cut and prepped and cooked. Therefore, their mind accepts. So there's a level of accountability. If I touch it, I see it, I cook it, I know, and I'm taught that it is safe, I can accept it now in my body. So they
What have
start as picky eaters and convert into I eat everything in Little Chefs.
what have been some recent things that you've been teaching? Foods.
So we go country to country, week 2 weeks. So we do 3 countries in one state. We last week we did Costa Rica, which is very amazing. They did gallo pinto. But recently, shocking to me, one of the shocking recipe we've done, and I want to say recent, but it's like a month or two, was Croatia. So we actually ordered the squid ink from Croatia, and the little chefs were able to put a black risotto together with the squid ink and actually ate it. I was super surprised, and it came out very good.
You ordered squid ink from Croatia, and you had kids injecting that or whatever you do with it into food that they ate.
Yeah.
I would think their parents might not even want to eat that.
And you're right. Sometimes the parents are like, no, 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 no. And they take the initiative to say, Mommy, I made it. I tried it. I think you should try it too. And the parents are like, I am a picky eater, but he made it. So let me go ahead and try it. So there's an interaction of parent child there that is also very fascinating.
When they're making food, how much are they making for several people?
They all make their own plate, so we make enough for the amount of kids that are going to be there, but there's always extra, so they always make a full plate because they also need to do presentation. We also teach them how to express themselves through the art of presenting a beautiful plate. So yeah, they usually make their one plate, and they always go for seconds if there's more, or they save for the parents or take it home for brother. Like it's very, very cute.
Nice. What has been the most unusual dish from another culture that you've introduced?
Um, well, that was one of them because that was very different. Um, Not unusual, but crab legs, that was very new to them. Gizzards, which is mollejas from Puerto Rico. They have done baleadas. Like we've done, I think we're up to like country 105. So they've done a lot. And we do between 2 and 3 recipes per country. So I mean, I couldn't tell you. Every time we make something, and I'm like, oh my God, we want to travel there. And I tell them, I give them the option. Okay, based on the food and what you learned today, all the facts that we have put together, all the research you did while you were here, would you or would you not visit this country? And it gives them a time to think and say yes. So having said that, you always ask them, so where would you want to go? And they always refer back to like their favorite dish or the sweetest thing they put together, and it's just amazing.
Do
Um,
are these students that are there for all year long, or is it come for one time, or how does it work?
no, most of them come as an after-school program, and they do the whole year, like starting in August, ending in May. We do offer summer programs, but it's usually not the same students that come to our summer programs. It's more like other kids who want to try the kitchen for a week or two. But yeah, they come year after year. We started like about 4 years ago. We were in school, and we've only been in our physical location for 2 years. And a lot of those students have came from their school to be in the physical location.
How do you pick what country you're going to
Well,
explore?
for the rest of this year, what we did was we picked like a very important day to each country. So whatever Independence Day or Community Day or whatever day it's important to that, it falls on that week. So, for example, tomorrow is the independence of Belize. So this week we're doing Belize. Last week we were doing Costa Rica, and it was the independence of Costa Rica. Before that was Brazil, and it was the independence of Brazil. So we kind of go like that. Some other will be picked based on like their big celebrations. So around the first week of November, we always do Mexico for Day of the Dead, which is very important to them. Um, July, the first week of July, we always focus on United States for Independence Day. So we try to match it to something big of each of their cultures and countries.
The various Latin countries or Central American countries, you mentioned several of them. Are there big differences in the food between
Big
one
differences.
country and another?
Yeah. So here's what we notice. Not only in the Central America, but all around the world. I have tried recipes from Moldova that takes exactly like a recipe from Venezuela. They have different names and they're made in a different fashion, but ingredients essentially are all the same. We have carbs everywhere around the world. We have grains all around the world. We have the same protein. We have cows, we have fish, we have pigs. Like, it is the same. It's just giving it a name and using a certain herb or spice that makes it a little different in taste,
Sure.
but it's essentially all the same around the world.
Yep. So an empanada, a pierogi, a dumpling, all
Yeah,
these dough wrapped around a meat kind of thing from
yeah.
different countries.
So whether
Well,
you make it out of plantain, cassava, or it's still the same fashion. And some
sure.
of the tastes are like amazing. They're just like, whoa, mind blowing. I'm keeping this. And now I want to go here because they learn landmarks. Right now, they're all talking about how they want to go, they want to get their scuba diving permit so they can go to the Blue Hole in Belize because that's
Sure,
the week
sure.
we're focusing on. So
Well,
I keep
great.
getting them exciting about traveling, about meeting other people, other cultures, because they're all super friendly and they're all we need to be united. I guess that's
Yep.
my biggest message. We need to be united.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Thanks, or Genji, is that I see is your name there, for joining us today for our conversation. We're delighted that you're here in Central Florida, that you are exposing kids to the many cultures that make up who we are as Central Floridians. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Terry.
And thank you for watching this issue of Diverse Orange.
Thank you.